Alright, hello, welcome back to the stream, everybody. Hello, Fox Shadow, good morning. Let's see if I can get this working. There we go. Good morning. Hello, Blair William. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you both. And, yeah, anyone else that's watching right now, hello, welcome. So, yeah, today we're going to be just continuing on... Hello, DevGhost. We're going to be continuing on with Gunforge development, as you can see. So I've got my board up here with a new to-do list. We're not going to be able to do all of these items on the stream today, but I thought it would be interesting to add some cheese artillery to the Rat King. So let's go ahead and do that. I've been wanting to add another attack to the Rat King boss because he only has 2 attacks right now, so it gets very repetitive. So I want to do cheese artillery. Now I can't decide if I want to make it artillery or if I just want to make it like cheese fall from the sky. We're going to do something like that, but we'll see. What software are you using to keep track of progress in game? First of all, welcome back to the stream, Pocket Pixie. I'm using Obsidian. So this is the Obsidian note-taking app, and then this is a community plugin called Obsidian Kanban. So highly recommend Obsidian. It's all markdown files. You store your files on your local disk, so there's no cloud sync. You can purchase cloud sync if you want, but I have a network attached storage. That's my own private cloud, so that's where I sync all my data to. Hello, Rin. Yeah, you use Obsidian as well? Yeah, Obsidian's great. I like Obsidian a lot. All right, let's open up our Rat King and see what's what. Rat King. Any particular reason why C# over GD script? Yeah, the gist of it is that the game is complex enough that I can make use of things like abstract classes, interfaces, things of that nature. So it's just a little bit more structure, basically. Plus, link is very useful as well. I might redo that boss intro component. In any case. So here's our Rat King. Let's open up his script and let's see what an abomination this is. So we got state normal, state swarm, state trap. Let's do state machine dot add states, state cheese. I'll just call it state cheese, I guess. Enter state cheese. Leave state cheese. Okay, let's go fill those out. Private void enter state cheese. Private void leave state cheese. Private void. Well, we need just a normal state cheese in here. Private void state cheese. Okay. So when we enter the state cheese, we're going to play the cast animation. So let's play that. And let's actually... Private const... No, private read-only string name anim cast is equal to cast. Just cleaning this up a little bit. So anim walk as well. Walk. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, we're gonna play the anim cast when we enter the state cheese. Let's do private int cheese count. So we're gonna set that cheese count equals 0 here. So we'll reset it there. How is the swarm working? State swarm. Max swarm bullets, so let's do private const int max cheese. Let's do something like 15, I guess. I'm basically just going to copy and paste this stuff as I see fit. State timer. Right. Well, might as well just bring all this over. Paste it right there. This is max cheese. Change state normal. State timer is stopped. Enemy rat bullet. We don't want that. Yeah, we're going to want to change that as well. Bullet.initialize. Yeah, we don't need any of this. Cheese count plus equals that. Wait time. That's probably okay. Let's do 0.2 actually. Start. Swarm random audio stream player. That's missing. So I'm going to need to do some audio work too. I can't really do that on stream though. So that's an issue. C# is more versatile from my experience. Also, you can use C# outside of the game engine instead of only using GDScript for the game and nowhere else. That's a good point. Yeah. Hello, Joshua Morris. Welcome, welcome. The boss name, Rat King. He has entered the cheese state. I'm on lecture 30 of the C# course you put on Udemy. I knew it was going to be good because of your previous course, but you're teaching me a C# dev, some really good stuff when it comes to C# and GD. Nice. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Oh, I forgot to open the stream with my pitch. Well, for anyone that's watching right now or watching the VOD, I have a C# course just released. The link for that is available in the description below. It's still on discount for the next couple days. So if you're interested, be sure to pick it up at that discounted price. And yeah, you'll be helping me out because I currently don't have a job. So all the revenue that I get from that course is helping me finish Gunforged and then any projects in the future that I want to work on. So let's see. So I think it's time to actually make the cheese. I'm kind of feeling taking like a little bit of an art break here. So let's make some cheese. Let's see if I can do it without embarrassing myself. I know this looks bad, but just give me a second here. Is that too much? That looks terrible. I'm gonna do this without looking up what a cheese wedge looks like. Oh. What is going on? What is going on? It's like I'm mashing random keys. Okay. That looks terrible. Okay, I was trying to get fancy by using the circle as a sort of a wedge, but I think what needs to happen is I need like a flat part, and then I need something like this. Why am I having such a hard time with this? Do I not know what a cheese wedge looks like? Okay, that's a little bit better. It's just like it's too pointy, I think. So something like that, although those lines are terrible, so I'm gonna try redoing this here. It's gonna be hard to get the size that I want without getting a bunch of weird jaggies here. I don't think I can go straight at a 45-degree angle. I don't think that's going to work. I suppose I have no choice but to... just kind of go with something janky, I suppose. That probably looks all right. Well, let's see what happens when I add some shading to this, and we'll see. First of all, is this even big enough? Entity Rat King cheese. I just want to make sure that this is big enough before I go too far. It probably could be bigger. Yeah, it probably could be bigger, so let's see if we can make it bigger. There we go. That's starting to look more like cheese. Now it's bigger. Cool. I still don't like how pointy this is, so I'm just going to round that off a little bit more. Awesome. And then let's get some... oh, goodness. Get some shading. And now I need to figure out how to do holes. I think what I probably need to do is do something like this and then do some shading. Okay. Doesn't need to be perfect. It does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be passable. Hi, King of Necromancers. Oh, don't I wish. Don't I wish. I'm thinking of getting the Udemy C# course as well. Or the Udemy Godot C# course as well. It's very recent, which is nice compared to the other one, which is 3.2 version and got low reviews. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's all up to date with 4.3, and we also go over tile map layers quite a bit in that course, which are kind of new for 4.3, so. Swarm bullet count equals max cheese, yes indeed. It's going good, solo leveling. How are you doing? When we start the Necro Kingdom Discord, I keep getting asked that question. I just don't have the wherewithal to manage a Discord at this moment. Hey, so about your courses, are the final products from them ours to use however? If so, how can we give you credit if we develop them further? No credit is required. You can use those final projects however you want. I do not care. All of them are made with public domain assets as well, so you don't have to worry about any commercial licenses or anything. And so you don't have to credit me. You can use them however you want. If you want to credit me, you can just point people to my YouTube channel, and that would be much appreciated, but you definitely do not have to do that. So can't go wrong with just a classic American cheese slice. Well, yeah. I just got done watching your previous VOD. Welcome, Vrabo. Hello, Luca. You weren't here to say yup when the stream started. Do you think you'd ever make content on the art side of things? Maybe eventually, if I got to the point where I was confident enough in my ability to instruct on art, but I'm still kind of like learning myself, and there's already a bunch of great pixel art sort of tutorials on YouTube and whatnot, so It's not exactly in my wheelhouse to do, but, you know, I think maybe an interesting video could be like how to approach pixel art from as a person who used to be terrible at it or whatever. That would be a good video, actually. That looks good, thanks. Are you using LibreSprite for your sprite artwork? No, I'm using, I assume that's a program. I'm using Sprite. Oops, arrived late, yeah. It's all right. Glad to have everyone here. So this cheese is looking decent. I think there's like some more shading I could do here. I'm really tempted to go look some more at... I'm really tempted to go look at like what other people have done for pixel art cheese slices. I think this point here is kind of throwing me off. That looks better to me. Let's make a bigger hole right there. And then let's make a tiny one here, maybe? Can I get away with doing a tiny one just like that? No, it probably needs to be at least that big. That just looks awkward. Oh, that looks decent, I suppose. Don't want to go overboard. Maybe if I added like another... I'm just messing around here with colors. That doesn't look like cheese anymore. It looks like some kind of... some kind of like bug incubation pod or something. All right, we're just going to remove all that. I think maybe I can use this highlight a little bit more though. That's probably fine. Well, it's not the finest piece of work in the world, but it's probably fine. See what happens when I add an outline. Outlines make everything better. I think maybe, does this need to be like a harder edge here? No, that looks weird. Although, that does actually look a little bit better. Maybe this needs to be curved more. Ooh, yeah. I think maybe this piece is sticking up a little bit too much. And then this needs to probably go down faster. There's like a weird lump here that I want to get rid of. Am I just destroying this now? Well, that just looks terrible now. It's just that line is so awkward. Like, I don't know what to do about this. The pointy end of the cheese just looks so weird. All right. Nope. All right. Let's go to Google. Pixel art cheese wedge. I'm going to be absolutely embarrassed by this. Oh, I'm just missing like a top part, I suppose. Okay. I see. That's a nice cheese wedge. Look at that one. So okay. Okay, so it needs, this is kind of like actually what I'm trying to, what I ideally would go for. So let's try that. Okay, let's hide this. I'm gonna try again. Liberty Sprite is free A Sprite. Oh, interesting. Well, I've already purchased it, so. A Sprite is free also if you build it yourself. Yeah, I think I knew that, but I spent the 15 bucks or whatever. It doesn't look like cheese anymore. Hello, Wibbly. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, there's a... I don't know if that art was salvageable here. The thing about pixel art is not to make it too messy, so you don't need to do a lot of shading. The cheese is looking pretty good. Well, we might go back to that cheese if I can't get the new one to work. Turned out pretty decent for the amount of time it took. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on art, so... Do you think Godot 4.2.2 will work with your GDScript course? Yeah, it absolutely will work. I think there's slight differences in the tile maps, so you might have a little bit... You might have to do some translation there, but you absolutely can do Godot 4.2.2 with the GDScript course. Reference cheese, yeah. Yeah, yoink. I'm stealing your art. Okay, let's do this first then. So I'm just going to start with... So let's do this. So how did it work? It was a straight edge here, then something like this, and then something like this again, right? And then this, and then a curve, and then like that. Oh my gosh, it's already looking better. Look at that. Don't mind me. It looks like cheesecake right now, but we're gonna fix that. Oh my gosh, it's already a better slice of cheese. Thank you, random Google result. I'll fix this edge up a little bit though. That looks a little bit awkward, but I gotta get better at doing edges, I think, but that's probably fine. Yeah, that's fine. Don't want to get too concerned about that. And then we'll clean that up maybe a little bit. No, it's probably fine the way it was, yeah. If anything, I could do this. I don't think I need to mess with it that much. Okay, let's focus on getting this correct. So this is going to be like a lighter side. This is going to be a darker side. Then we have this is like a highlight, right? So like a highlight. I think for the outline, I'm going to do... Well, do I even need an outline or should it just be... Wonder if it should just be the black as the outline. Yeah, it'd probably be better actually, so if I do this. Okay, there's my outline there. This obviously needs to change. Good. Okay, so we're getting there. Let's see if we can do some holes. So we got some there. Let's do a big one there. And then somebody said to like shift the highlights and the insets. Or shift the highlights and whatchamacallits. Ooh, there we go. Whoever made that suggestion is goated. Nice. I hope I'm not ripping off that cheese too much. I think mine's different enough, right? I mean, you can't really... I mean, you're gonna come at me for making a wedge shape. I am gonna steal another idea, though. And just make that have a little chip there. Feel free to let me know if this is too close to the other guy's drawing, but I'm just gonna go ahead with it. Maybe I can make one that's going kind of like outside or on the edge there. There we go. Yeah, that gives it some nuance there. And then instead of having a straight edge here, I wonder if I could do like a little... I'll be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing there. Okay. I'm just wondering if I can break up the straightness of this line a little bit. If that would look all right. I think that looks a little bit awkward. I wonder if I could use a different... I wonder if I should put a highlight up here, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looks good. Yeah, that looks fine. Don't know about those. Should I give it a little bit of a shadow here? Does that look good? I don't think so. Maybe. No. All right, maybe I should just stop there while I'm ahead. Call that good. Yeah, so I have, here's the here's the previous design. So here's the previous design and new design. Which one do you think is better? I don't know. I think it's a night and day difference. Can confirm I started a project on Godot 4 after the course and still works 4.3. Issues can happen with the tile map because it changed, but I'm not sure about it. Yeah, the tile map is really the only issue. Wow, says Blair William. I totally recommend the course. The composition stuff is a game changer. Yeah, I mean, you could just look at my Rat King here. This might be a little bit of overkill, but like all of these are components. Look at this, health component, audio component. So like, I'm actually building this game relying heavily on components. And It's part of the reason why I've been able to design so many guns and affixes very quickly is because it's all very modular. I can just pick and choose the things that I need. How is Godot with C#? I'm much more familiar with it, but most of the online content is in GDScript. I think it's great. I mean, I think it's totally fine. There's a couple of interesting gotchas that you have to be aware of, but, and I'm actually thinking about doing a video on that, just like common C# gotchas. I should be writing this stuff down somewhere, so I need to make a... I don't have enough time to do all the stuff I need to do. So I'm going to make a video on pixel art for non-artists. So sharing my experiences learning pixel art. And then I want to do a video on C# gotchas. Okay, I've written those down so I don't forget. I should take a day this week and just try to produce videos instead of working on the game, but yeah, so it's good. And of course, my C# course is linked in the description below. Gotta hawk that, right? The cheese looks better than the previous one. Your cheese is unique enough. Take that out of context. Your cheese is unique enough. Just flip it. No one will ever notice. Yours has its own spin. Cool. All creative work builds on what came before. Yeah. Toss the number one quickly in the trash. You know I'm about to do it. Yeah, the new one. Yep. The Rat King's nose looks a little phallic. No. Yeah. I should probably redo that. Could you also talk about your C# Godot utilities? Yeah, sure. So I've got, let's see if I can pull it up. GitHub.com, Firebelly. So I can put the link in the description. Godot utilities. Does this work if I send it? Yeah, so there's my Godot utilities. And basically, it's just a C# package you can put into your Godot project. I'm using this in Gunforged. And the big thing is that you can get some auto wiring of nodes. So if you put a scene attribute on your class and then you use this node attribute, it will take the member name and automatically match that to a child name. So for instance here, this node private label, this is going to automatically find a node with the name label and assign that to this member. And all you need to do is you basically need to, when the scene is instantiated, you just need to call wire nodes and it will take all those nodes and assign them for you. So that's available for anyone to use. It's open source, MIT. You can contribute to it, you can download it, you can do whatever you want with it. How long have you been using Godot C#? That's a good question. I don't know when I started using C# exactly. I started using Godot at the end of like 2017 or whenever the 3.0 alpha was available is when I started using Godot. I think I started using C# shortly after that, if my memory serves me correctly. But that was, if that was 2017, then that was however many years ago. That was 7 years ago. So it's been 7 years already. Have you already thought about how this game could perform in terms of sales and uniqueness? I developed a similar one years ago, but just for the saturation market, I quit it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought that much about this, really. I think really like the goal of number of sales that I want to target is like 2,000. I want to hit like 2,000 sales because what that's going to do is that's going to, at the price point that I'm thinking of, that's going to extend my self-employment runway by a good amount, not a huge amount, but by a good amount, which is going to give me enough time to hopefully then go and build the next game that I want to make, which I have a feeling is going to be much more successful than Gunforged. For a number of reasons. One, I think that the idea is more focused. Number two, it's going to be an online co-op thing, which I feel like there's a very distinct lack of like online co-op roguelites. I mean, I know there are some, but there are so many great like roguelite games or roguelite games that are just single player only. And it's like, man, it would be great to play this with a friend. So I think the game that I want to make is going to have that functionality, which is going to be great. It's going to have a more focused and I think fun gameplay loop. Not to say Gunforge isn't fun, but like I think that this one is a level above. So, and I also have the other soft skills. Like I know more about marketing now. I know more about planning and scope and all that stuff. So anyway. Do you always need to put the scene and node annotation plus notification method to work? Yes. You don't need to use the notification method. You just need to call that wire nodes function to get all the assignments set up. Do you use the utility extension in the C# course? Do I use, sorry, I was just reading the next message. Do I use the utility extension in the C# course? No, and the reason I don't use that is because I just wanted to keep it focused on a vanilla Godot C# experience. And of course, there's always a risk that if I decide to rewrite big chunks of the Godot utilities, that somebody that's taking the C# course a year down the line is going to try to install that and figure out that it's all different, right? So it's hard enough keeping up with all the changes that Godot makes to the engine as my courses become slowly outdated. So adding more dependencies on top of that could become outdated is just, I just want to avoid that. Yeah, this is the one I was laughing at. Ew. Do you want to host your own servers or use Steam peer-to-peer? I have to do some more research into it, but if you were here when I was doing the Globins multiplayer, I was thinking about just doing peer-to-peer. So like one friend hosts and then opens up their IP to other people to join. If I can use Steam peer-to-peer for that instead, then I will definitely be using that just because it sounds easier and more secure. So, but there's not gonna be like dedicated servers for it. It's just gonna be like, you know, start up the game, host it, and then have your friend connect. All right. I'm closing this Rat King. You guys can't be trusted to gaze upon His Majesty. Hello, Felipe. What's up with you? Welcome to the stream. Got the course, thanks. Thank you, Lucas. Very much appreciate that. Let me know what you think when you get into it. Actually, I closed the Rat King, but I still need him. Let's just move his nose off the screen there. So we've got the cheese. That looks really good, if I do say so myself. Oops, we can't show his nose. Yeah, I think that looks great. So this is gonna fall from the sky and impact and do all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, let's, I'm gonna create a new scene. We're gonna call this, instead of doing artillery, I think the cheese is just gonna fall from the sky. Yeah, I think that's gonna be fine. So let's do this. Cheese meteor. Game object, attack. Yeah, I think it should go in there actually. So cheese meteor. We're gonna add a node 2D for the visuals. Or no, do we need to do that? No, we don't need to do that. We can just add a sprite. Sprite 2D, bring the cheese over. And we're going to uncheck this centered. I think that's fine. Okay, so there are a couple of things that need to happen here. So let's go ahead and create a script for this. This is game object attack. So game.gameObject.attack. Okay, so we need a reference to that sprite. And create a start method, I suppose. And in here, what we're going to do is we're going to say sprite2d.position equals vector2.up. times, let's just do 300, I suppose. We'll start it way up. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a tween. So var tween is equal to, I guess I don't need to do that here. Create tween, tween.tween property, sprite 2D, position. This is going to tween to vector2 dot 0. And let's do over, I don't know, 2 seconds maybe. No, that might be too much. Let's do 1.5. Okay, and we're going to do from vector2.up times 300. And we're going to do set transition. We're going to do in tween dot transition type dot cubic, I suppose. Let's try cubic. Set ease type in. Okay, and then tween dot finished plus equals on tween finished. I also need to create a telegraph component, so private void on tween finished, and I don't know how that works, so I'm gonna have to look that up. Mushroom artillery bullet. This has, oh, interesting. Maybe I need to go to my mushroom. Telegraph, here we go. Telegraph factory, telegraph circle builder, parent node spawn position, set radius, and then the telegraph needs to be killed afterwards. Okay. Guess I'll just copy this. This cheese meteor here on tween. So when we start it, it needs to create that telegraph. So let's import that telegraph factory. This get base level, game utils, telegraph, get viewport as node. What? Let's just do get parent here. Target position, right. So this is going to be global position. Set radius. What is our cheese radius going to be? Private const int radius. Let's do 64. We'll see how that looks. Oh, the radius has to be an int. Okay, int radius. Okay. So on tween finished, what we're going to do is we're going to do new circle explosion dot circle explosion builder, and this is going to accept a node to add it on. So this dot get base level dot, do we want foreground? Or get parent. What's the next one? Spawn position, global position, new duration. Let's do 0.4. Dot set color is the, let's see, does the color default to red? It doesn't. So I need to set the color here. Visibility, where's my red? Here. Oops. Set color, new color. There we go. Set radius, radius. Set enemy. Do I need to call set damage on that? Let's see, set enemy. So I need thickness, radius. Okay, so I just need to set the thickness now. Set thickness 16 dot build. Cool. So now we need to get these cheese meteors falling from the sky. Hello, Ariane. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Am I an artist as well as a game developer? I am not. I would not consider myself an artist primarily. I probably wouldn't even use that word if I was describing myself to somebody. Art is something that I spent some time learning so that I could make art for my games, but I wouldn't necessarily call myself an artist. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of learning that I need to do, and I'm not, I wouldn't even say that I'm particularly good at it. I would say that I can make passable art, art that is cohesive and follows the basic rules of art, but I don't know if people are going to look at my art and say, wow, that's gorgeous, you know? I'll talk about his nose if it's off screen. Really enjoying your vampires course. Might check out your C# course after so I can work out which I prefer. Gotta bounce now. Good luck with your cheese meteors. Thank you, Joshua. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, very much appreciate that. Are you a solo game developer, meaning you do the logic, the graphics, the sound, and the artwork? Yeah, so I do all the logic. I do all of the overwhelming majority of the art. There's one asset that I'm using in the game for buttons, like button icons, like keyboard button icons that I got as a free asset from somewhere. That's the only thing that I haven't made. And for as far as sound effects, I have sound effects libraries that I have the license to use, and so I choose all the sounds that I want to put in the game, and I like mix them together and stuff. I don't record the sounds myself. And then for the music, I already contracted somebody to make some of the music for Gunforged, and I'm gonna probably hire some more people to make more music for Gunforged. So I try to do as much as I can, but I just don't have like music composition skills or anything, so I have to outsource some of that work. And also the Steam store page assets for this game, like the store page art, I hired somebody to do that as well. Okay, so let's go to the Rat King now, and so I need to go to the resource preloader, cheese meteor. Go to the Rat King, put that cheese meteor in there, and now he can spawn that. So in here, var cheese is equal to resource preloader dot instance scene or null cheese meteor. Okay. We're going to add this to the entities layer. Now, the problem is that I need to... Oh, right. I need to do this as well. So let's put a to-do here. So cheese is equal to resource preloader instance scene or null cheese meteor. We need to choose a random direction for this, and the problem is that some of the cheese may end up going outside of the level, and I probably want to prevent that. So let's do this. Var target position is equal to global position plus mathutil.rng.rand direction times mathutil.rng.randf range. Let's do 0 to 150. So that's our target position here. Oops. So there's our target position. And now I need to do a raycast. Now, do I have that? I think I do. Var physics get world 2d dot physics dot direct space state dot raycast. Yeah, raycast. Here we go. I think this is coming from my Godot utilities. Yeah, physics raycast query parameters. So let's do this. New physics query raycast parameters 2D. And what do I need to put in here? Oh goodness, what even is this code? From is equal to global position 2 is equal to target position collision mask is equal to 1 for the terrain. What else needs to go in here? Collide with areas, collide with bodies. Well, we want to collide with bodies, so we'll set that to true. So this now returns a raycast result. Which is all of this. So what I'm interested in basically is that this is not null. So target position is equal to raycast, not equal to null, question mark target position, otherwise raycast dot position. I think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So this is just going to prevent the cheese from going outside of the arena. Target position equals raycast. Yeah. So there we go. Cheese. So I need to change the cheese position. That sounds so ridiculous. Cheese dot global position is equal to target position. And then we can call cheese dot start. And now we need to get this guy going into his... that state. Whew. Okay. I was creating a 2048 game. What does tween do again? So tween is just a way of programmatically interpolating between. That's where the word tween comes from. So between two values. And when you interpolate between two values, you can either do it linearly, which means that it just moves from the target or from this beginning position to the end position, or the beginning value to the end value in a consistently constant rate. But tweens also come with the ability to specify other curves for interpolation. So you could start off interpolating slowly and then very quickly at the end, or you can do like bounces and all that kind of stuff. So basically that's the gist of it. It's a way of programmatically interpolating between two values and applying different curves to the interpolation of those values. I hope that helps. So cheese timer. What are these other ones doing? 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 1.5, 2.5. Let's do 2 and 4. You are welcome. All right, so let's do this. Node private timer, cheese timer. In our state normal. Else if cheese timer dot is stopped. State machine dot change state. State cheese. Do I have these set to auto start? Yeah, one shot and auto start. Okay. So when we leave state cheese, we're going to do cheese timer dot start, or dot call rather, start random. All right, any guesses as to whether this is going to work or not first try? Let's see. My hunch is that it will work, but it's going to require some kind of tweaking here. All right, so here we go. Spawn. Rat King. Does that work? Nope. spawn Rat King. There we go. Where did he go? Okay, there's his swarm attack. There's the trap. Oh, cheese is falling from the sky. Something's very wrong here. Why are they all appearing over there? Oh, there's a lot of errors. Object reference not set to an instance of object. Okay, well. That's a lot of cheese, yeah. LOL, yeah. That is a lot of cheese. Oh, goodness. I gotta figure out what's going on here. Rat King 218. Me at Olive Garden when they start giving me Parmesan. That's ridiculous. My favorite thing about Godot is you can edit and save an image in a drawing program, tab into Godot, and the image will instantly be updated in the game. Yes, that is so nice. Okay, 218. Oh. Yeah, I got my argument wrong there. That's why it was being errorful, I guess. On tween finished in here, what needs to happen is that cheese needs to go away. Now, I probably want to do some kind of animation for that cheese going away, but let's do this. Tween dot set parallel, tween property, sprite 2D, scale, vector 2.1, 0.5, dot set transition type, back, dot set ease type out, and then we're going to do dot from vector 2.0. Oops. So we're going to scale that in, and then here, maybe we'll apply some kind of other animation for the cheese as well. Maybe the cheese should be rotating to some extent as well. But we'll see how this looks first. So that needs to be queue freed, but also what needs to happen is that this telegraph needs to be stored as well. Actually, what I can do here is I can do this. What is this type? Telegraph circle. So I'll pass that in there. We'll say telegraph circle.kill. Perfect. All right. Let's see if that works now. I think that's going to fix my raycast issue now. How about when died from cheese, say cheesed? That would be hilarious. That would be ridiculous. All right, let's see if we have the same cheese problems here. That's all wrong. I got to fix that as well. Cheese! Oh my gosh, look at the cheese. Now, I am not entirely sure why he doesn't stop sending cheese my way. Ow. That's a pretty cool attack though, right? Ow. It's just raining cheese. He never stops, but he's raining cheese. I know how to get him to stop. Oh, I actually can't hit him from here? Oof. I got. Why wasn't I able to hit him? I guess because he was inside of this thing. That's unfortunate. All right. That's fine, though, because this is not a combat arena, so it doesn't matter. Let's figure out why he doesn't stop with the cheese. 266. Where is 266 here? Entity spawner. Oh, he's not in the right environment for that. Okay. That's fine. Right, okay, so let's, yeah, why is he not... Oh, because I'm not checking the right value. Cheese count is equal to max cheese. Cool. Let's give it a shot again. It's cheese to meet you. That's cool, yeah. I think it is cool. It's coming along well. I think I'm gonna go into the main hub or the main dungeon level here though, and I'm going to spawn the Rat King. Yeah. Come on. And he goes immediately into the... Now he's just going crazy. I think I need to adjust some of the attack patterns here because he doesn't have time to move. I might need a different strategy for choosing which abilities he needs to use. So I'm going to think about that. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to change the radius here. Let's do 250 instead. I want the cheese to be like a wide area kind of thing. It's pretty cool you built a product or a base to build upon where you can design a new ability for a boss in 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's kind of a necessity, right? Like I can't be spending all day tweaking a boss. But yeah, I think I've got a decent system. It's a lot of the things in this game are allowing me to create content fairly rapidly. Ow, this guy's crazy. Although I thought it was going to take even less time than this. Okay, so there's a couple things to do still. We got some errors. Oh, that's related to dying. I don't know what that error is. We need to handle that to do. I'm going to stage what I've got here. Or let's just do this. Initial work on Rat King Cheese Meteor. Okay, so there's a bunch of things that we still need to do here. I need to fix the Rat King's attack patterns so that he actually has time to move around and is not just locked into using an ability all the time. And I also want to animate the cheese impact so that when it hits the ground, it will bounce and go somewhere, just to give it a little bit more oomph, as you could say. What is this aim at player even doing? This doesn't do anything. Can remove that function. All right. So we're going to do those two things. And after I take a quick 2-minute break. So while I'm at the break, in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. If you're interested in learning how to do Godot C#, that's the first link in the description. It's just got released last week. It's still on discount for the launch discount. So pick that up if you're interested. Otherwise, hit that notification bell, like and subscribe. All that good stuff helps me. Again, I just need a 2-minute break. And then when I come back, we'll be working on tightening this up and finalizing the cheese meteor attack. All right, so I will be back in just a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. Who's ready to work on some cheese meteors some more? That's why it's important to create a good foundation for your games and software in general. I agree. Although it's a little bit more difficult in games because they change so rapidly. So you kind of have to strike a balance, right? You can't start with your game by making and architecting all kinds of fancy systems, because it may turn out that those systems actually aren't going to be useful for the game as the vision evolves. So it's definitely a balancing act. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right, Jimmy Winrar. If you're banking on having them, then yeah, it's a good investment. But if you're not sure if you're going to need them, or you're not sure what the ultimate game is going to look like, then you can definitely get stuck into a loop of like designing a perfect system that never gets used. Hello, Abo. Welcome back to the stream. It's good to see you again. Is a laptop with a GTX 16 T0. I'm assuming that's supposed to be like a number of some kind. Good for Godot for game development. It should be fine for 2D game development. Yeah, I think that'll be fine for... Godot runs on potato hardware. I'm not saying that that is potato hardware, but Godot runs on very low spec hardware, generally speaking. So you can use Godot, you can use GDScript, and you should be able to, as long as your 2D game isn't making super heavy use of like shaders or has some 3D elements or whatever, should be fine. Even I would even be surprised if that laptop that laptop couldn't run a very basic like low poly 3D game. 1650 Ti. It should be fine, honestly. You have to keep in mind, like, games like Terraria, right? There's a lot going on in Terraria, and that was made, what? How long ago was Terraria released? Was it over 10 years ago? Terraria initial release date. Yeah, so in 2011. So that game was made for PCs of 2011, which was 13 years ago. So, and it ran well at the time. So yeah, I think that you'd be fine. Anyway. It's 13 years ago, huh? You know you're getting old when you remember the Minecraft versus Terraria wars. On GeForce app, you can select the optimization for the develop app or for gaming. It changes the driver or something. That's good to know. Okay, so back to the cheese. So we want the cheese. Let's add the cheese bounce. So when the cheese goes to this on tween finish, instead of queue freeing it immediately, let's set up another tween. Create tween. Tween.set parallel. Tween.tween property. Sprite 2D. We're going to tween the rotation. And we're going to do, rotation degrees. We're going to do mathutil.rng.randf range. We're going to do negative 720 to positive 720. And we're going to do this over 1 second. And then tween.tween property sprite 2D scale vector 2.0. And we're going to go, let's do over 0.5 seconds. Let's do set transition. We're going to do tween transition type dot back and then dot set ease. Tween.ease type dot in. And then we'll do this. Tween.finished plus equals, I'll just do a lambda here. Queue free. All right. Let's see what that looks like. And actually, might as well just change this right now. So there's these add timer, swarm timer, trap timer. So these are his state timers here. I'm just going to start by doubling each of the numbers in here. So 2 and 8, and then 4 and 8. Let's see if that creates enough breathing room. I was there. I never played any of the games, though. Yeah, I mean, at the time, like, I think I was like a sophomore in high school in 2011 when Terraria came out. So it was like the stupid stuff we would argue about, like, no, Minecraft's better, no, Terraria's better. But they are both incredible games. I like them. I like them both. Unfortunately, I have not been able to enjoy Minecraft lately. Maybe I'm just burnt out on it or something. Let's spawn a Rat King. Okay, he's not attacking. Okay, there's an attack. Is he going to do traps next? Yep, and then he goes cheese. Yeah, I don't like how this pacing is working. Oh, also the cheese needs to have a different animation when it lands. It needs to bounce up. Oh, that's going to be difficult, actually. Maybe not, though. Tween.tween property. Sprite 2D. Position. Let's do mathUtil.rng.rand direction. It doesn't actually, I don't actually want it to be rand direction. I want it to be, I should extend my Godot utility so I can have a rand. Oh, I have a rand sign. Nice. So I think I actually want... So let's do a bounce direction equals vector2.right.rotated. And we're going to do mathUtil.rng.randf range. And we're going to go from 45 degrees to 135 degrees. This needs to be rotated degrees. So rotated degrees times mathUtil.rng.randf range. Let's do 50 to 100. Okay, and then, so this is going to tween, so that bounce direction, so let's do this. Var bounce target position is equal to global position plus bounce direction. We'll animate that position here, bounce target position, and we'll do that over 0.5 seconds as well. Might as well make this 0.5 as well. Okay, well, let's see if that works. I'm gonna have to rethink how the boss attack patterns work. I'm actually not sure. That's one of those things about game development, is that there are questions that are really hard to find the answer to. Like, how do you design a boss with proper timing for, like, his different attacks? And that's just not something that you can readily find. Like, you can find GDC talks on related issues like boss design, but it's not, I don't know. There's never like a comprehensive, what is going on? There's never like a comprehensive, guide on, like, here's good boss design. What is going on with my cheese? Oh, you know what? This is not supposed to be global. Okay. I'm animating the sprite in local space, not global space, so I shouldn't be using the global position there. Okay, spawn a rat king. Hit me with the cheese, come on. Ow. Okay, I think I did my rotations wrong as well. Let's try it again. Person who designed boss mods add-on for World of Warcraft 1 made one or many YouTube videos explaining the thought process behind boss attack patterns. I didn't watch the whole thing. It's I'm not saying there's no resources out there. I'm just saying it's one of those things that's really hard to find information on, you know? Similar things are like proper loot table distributions, right? Like how to balance all that. Ow. So this, I'm going to change this to var rotation is equal to 360 plus mathutil.rng.randf range 0360 times mathutil.rng.rand sign. And then we'll put this in here. Maybe all this should be lowered a little bit in terms of the time. Besides for things like boss fights, when do you think it makes sense to use a state machine? So I'm using a state machine in a couple of places. Believe it or not, the wave like flow here, so enemies being spawned and then all of the tables coming down in between the waves where you can activate or you can do your upgrades and whatnot. All of that stuff is powered by a state machine. So like anytime you have clear, I don't know, I guess states that you need to add individual logic for each state, that's when I would use it. So like my waves have like a starting phase and an ending phase and an in-between phase and a reward phase and all that stuff. And so it's easier to manage all of that with a state machine. And then also, of course, basic enemy AI is good. Why are those cheeses not rotating as fast as I want them to? I think I need to up this. 720 base. But I think that's looking good. I just need to figure out a better flow for the boss attacks. Guess you'll find out about loot tables in your next game based on what you described yesterday. Well, I've just been relying on weighted loot tables, which is what I'm using in Gunforge. Probably will do the same thing in the next game that I want to make. But it gets a lot harder with RPG loot and like how do you distribute stats on items. I'm doing a little bit of that in Gunforged here, but not a lot. Oh gosh. Okay, now the cheeses are just going crazy. What is 360 plus 180? 360 plus 180 is what, 540? Is that right? Or did I just embarrass myself? No, it's 540. Why am I questioning myself? So we'll turn that down and then we'll do 180 here. Okay. I'm spending way too much time tweaking the rotation speed of the cheese. Okay, let's add Rat King. Oop. Oh, look at that. I jailbreaked or jailbroke the pause screen. Okay, that looks fine. So yeah, the real problem is that the boss has no time to move around. Oh, I died. Behold, blood. So he's got some time to walk around while the timers are initially ticking down, but then once the timers start popping off, it's like madness. Okay, well, the cheese is looking fine. So let's just stage that. Let's figure out what we can do about this Rat King. So one thing to do would be to... So all these timers are running in parallel. One thing I could do is I could pause the other timers while... So, yeah, so if I leave the normal state, so in the Rat King, if the Rat King leaves the normal state, so leave state normal, which we actually don't have, so let's create that. Private void, leave state normal. When leaving the state normal, all of the timers could be paused. So we could say if not swarm timer dot is stopped. We could say swarm timer. Is there like a pause? So true. If not trap timer dot is stopped. Trap timer dot pause equals true. And then same for the cheese timer. Cheese timer dot is stopped. Cheese timer dot paused equals true. And then in the enter state normal, we do the same thing. So, or we do reverse. So if swarm timer dot is paused, I don't want to write this all out, but I'm going to anyway. If swarm timer paused, swarm timer dot paused equals false. If cheese timer paused, if trap timer dot paused, so it'll just resume all the paused timers. So when the Rat King enters a different state, any of the non-related state timers will be paused, and then they will continue upon entering the normal state again. So hopefully that's going to create a little bit of a better pacing here. That rat attack is pretty cool. I also like the tiny rat textures. Yeah, thanks. The tiny, like the little rat bullets, you mean? Yeah, there's a little rat bullets there. Okay, so did that not work, or did they all just happen to have the same? Yeah, he's still immediately going into a lot of different states. Now, I wonder if that's... Let me look at my random timer here. This is actually written in GD script. Get min wait time. There's nothing wrong in that script, so I guess... Let's do this. gd.print resuming timer. Let's do print s. Swarm cheese trap. I'm just curious to see if that's actually working. Maybe I should do like a swarm timer time left. Cheese timer dot time left. Trap timer dot time left. Yep, I was not expecting to get pulled into redoing the boss attack patterns, but whatever's necessary for the game, then that's what we're gonna do. Spawn Rat King. I think I'm gonna redo that boss intro as well. It's kind of janky. I mean, it's not even showing up because I hit it, but... Oh, you know what? The reason why it's not working, do you know why it's not working? Is because I never added the leave normal state to my state machine. That's why it's not working. Okay, this should be much different now. Always forget to do something silly like that. Sorry, I have to go to a small window so I can see the output here. There's the swarm. Okay. Still quite frequent, but I don't know if you can see this very well on the stream, but this is actually working. So you can see a couple of places, like cheese has 3 seconds remaining by the time it's resumed. But here's another one where it's got 0.6 seconds remaining. So I think I might, what I might do is I might actually add a lot more variability here. So we've got, did I not bump this up? So 2 seconds. Let's just set a min wait time of 2 seconds on each of these. That might be enough to just create enough spacing. Almost a year learning Godot, and I still don't know what or how to use state machines. Well, that's certainly something I could cover in a YouTube video. It's very simple. A state machine is basically a flow chart. That's all it is. And each box in the flow chart dictates a different piece of functionality. And the idea is that whatever box you're in on the flowchart will run only that logic for that box. But, you know, a flowchart has edges and connections and arrows pointing to other boxes. Those are like how your states connect to each other. So you might have one state that's only able to be visited from a different state, right? So otherwise known as graph theory. So if you want to look up something more, I guess, technical or sophisticated is not the word, something more formal, should definitely do some research on graph theory. And graph theory is useful for all kinds of things. It's useful for state machines. It's useful for trees, because trees are just graphs. You can have undirected graphs. You can have directed graphs. You can have cyclical graphs. And then knowing how graphs work and how to traverse them is super useful. What am I getting hit by? Yeah, I think this Rat King is a lot better. There's more breathing room a lot, and there's more variability in the attack patterns. And he actually has time to move to the player, which is also good. Oop, almost died. Yeah, this is great. I think this is just adding that one new attack, I think has made the boss feel a lot better. I'm obviously not trying to destroy the boss or defeat the boss right now. I'm just playing around with the timings here and just making sure it all feels good. I'm gonna run away from him, see if he follows me. Oh, there he is. What did I get hit by? I feel like I'm not able to see sometimes what I'm getting hit by. There are some cool algos for procedural generation with graphs. Yeah, I believe that. Enter the Gungeon uses minimum spanning trees to lay out its dungeon. Yeah, I was doing something similar. Initially, Gunforged was going to be somewhat like Enter the Gungeon with levels that were generated using similar strategy, but that was way too complex to manage. So procedural generation is really, really difficult, actually. I don't know if it's just me or it just always feels like it's impossible to get everything working correctly and feeling good and like getting the balance right. It's a nightmare. But maybe I'm just bad at it. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, is like there are very few good resources on like how do you actually make a procedurally generated level that makes sense as a level layout, that has points of interest and other items, you know, placed in it sensibly, placing decoration items, balancing how many enemies exist per room and what types of enemies exist per room. There are so many variables at play that it's hard to figure out, like, am I actually doing this correctly, or is it just like a huge finicky game and we have to just kind of like do whatever feels best, you know? Okay, I'm gonna say that this cheese is looking good. Oh, I don't need these prints anymore. So I'm gonna get rid of those. Okay. Finalize Rat King cheese attack. Have you looked into wave function collapse? I have heard of that term. I've tried to look into it, and I'm afraid I have never understood it. Although admittedly, I never put that much effort into understanding wave function collapse. It just never seemed like something that would be useful for what I was doing. Have you used it, Daniel? It's difficult when you want to do it really good, procedural generation, yeah. Super hard to generate stuff that isn't repetitive and is novel. Super fascinating IMO, because like anything I can do, wow, I can't read. Super fascinating IMO, because like anything I can do to get code to generate game content for me, right? Yeah, like procedural generation, especially if you're a solo developer, like the idea of not having to hand design every level is really appealing, but you know, there's a reason why levels are hand designed. It's because it's really hard to get a computer algorithm to generate a compelling level for you. Which is why, like, I really like these single screen games, right? Like, you've noticed that I've made a lot of these recently, and my next game is going to be like a single screen game. I guess this isn't really a single screen game, but it's just like, it's an arena, right? It's just, this is the map. And the reason I like that is because it's not trying to create interesting levels. It's just throwing a bunch of combat at you and saying, here you go, have fun beating up these enemies, you know? And it's so simple, but I feel like, at least for me, what I can do then is I can focus on like all the interesting things about the game, right? I can focus on making the weapons feel and look unique and adding a bunch of affixes and passives and having different enemy types. And that's obviously stuff that you can do in a game where you're pre-generating levels, but it takes a whole bunch of work off of my back and I can really just focus on the experience, right? So that's why I've been fascinated with the single screen games lately, or these like single room or single arena games. Because admittedly, I tried playing Enter the Gungeon just for fun and also to learn when I was going to originally make Gunforge like Enter the Gungeon, and I have to say, I didn't really get that into it. I didn't really find it compelling to walk through all the rooms and kill like 3 enemies at a time and then backtrack a bunch. It just wasn't, it felt very dated. And I know Enter the Gungeon is like an old game, but it just felt like very slow to me. And maybe that's just because I was just getting into the game and it starts off easy for you, but yeah, I don't know. I just walked back to see what killed you because I didn't notice it either, and you walked into a random projectile. Oh, so don't destroy a projectile if it kills you. That's a good idea, yeah. I might add that. Let me just add that here. Don't destroy projectile that kills player. I'm gonna make this as an enhancement here. So you can see what killed in that last frozen frame. It would feel more fair to the players seeing it was their mistake. Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea, thank you. Okay, so the to-do list here, I'm not gonna be streaming for too much longer, so let's see if there's something simple I can do here. Let's look at the player passive ideas. Is there something that we can get quickly done here? Deal damage equivalent to your current gold. That's kind of a bad one. Grants a small burst of movement every time you kill an enemy. Ice Nova. When switching guns, release a lightning bolt for every bullet that was fired. A minion that suplexes enemies. That sounds simple. A laser that appears and loosely tracks enemies dealing damage. What do we got for affixes? I need like a good poison, either a poison related passive or no, I need oil. An oil related passive or like an oil related affix. I need ideas for those. What else do I got over here? Rubber duck gun. Rocket gun. Health steal. Well, we could probably start on one of these that I have in my to-do list here. Indicator for dash recharge time. Create a compact bullet indicator. What just killed me is usually a really bad feeling for the player. Yes, I agree. It's procedural generation where you can still set POIs. Imagine your map as a grid. Now you can put things in the grid you certainly want to be there. Oh, I see. So this is in regard to wave function collapse. Then the algorithm fills in the blank space by using the rules you have defined. But I only know tile maps IDK if it would be good for complex stuff like rooms. Well, I imagine it'd be good for anything that can be broken down logically into a grid, right? So you could have a wave function collapse algorithm for like the overall level layout, right? But then you could run potentially a wave function collapse for each individual room in that layout because each room could be subdivided into a grid as well. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that some more. That sounds very useful to know. You know what? Since I don't have a whole lot of time left, I'm just going to play through the game. Because I like to do this every so often. Also, I think it's entertaining for all of you. But playing through the game helps me identify pain points and other things that should be addressed. So if any of you are watching me play this and you see something weird, please feel free to mention it so that I can consider addressing that. Slaughtering rats to the tune of beautiful lo-fi soundtrack. Let's do increased stamina. That sounds good. And then let's do... equip that. This is a DPS upgrade, okay. Put the banana receiver on there. That's very wild in terms of the spread, but we'll do it. There's not, I mean, there's a lot of work left to do in this game, but I'm hopeful that this game is really going to start looking like a finalized product. Ideally, by like November, it should look basically finished. Oh, I could do increased stamina again, or I could do blazing trails. Let's do blazing trails. That sounds good, because I already have one extra stamina. Might as well put that on the right gun. Not really getting good drops here. You know what? I'm actually going to scramble that right gun. Okay, well, that didn't really do much, except it gave me a terrible gun with terrible ammo. Look at that. The lightning just going everywhere. All right, whatever. Get away from me. Having extra stamina is just awesome. I might do little health indicators, little stamina indicators up here in the corner. I originally didn't want to do that because it would take up too much screen space, but I think it would be fine. Gain 1 bodyguard that intercepts damage. Thunderstorm, Blood Brothers. Let me scramble my gun again before I do anything. Bubble gun with high DPS, look at that. Bah! Nice. Sweet. So that was worth. Let's do... I'm gonna bank on Blood Brothers. Give me some blood here. Ooh, another bubble receiver. Put that there. I don't have any rune slots on this one. That's okay. Die, maggots. Ooh, give me that health. The bubbles are amazing. Ooh, that's an elite. I need to... I don't know, should I keep the elite system or should I remove it? That lightning looked like a banana at first glance. Yeah, I could, I don't know, I should do something about that, huh? What is applying shock? Oh, I've got the left gun applying shock, okay. All right. Blazing Trails ×2, robust. Heal 1 health after each wave, but lose the ability to collect health globes. I might change that passive. That passive seems very weak to me. Let's do Blazing Trails ×2. We got bullet splits when colliding with enemy. Let's go ahead and put that on the right gun. Yeah. Because there's a couple of upgrades there. Now, do I want to reforge? Yeah, let's spend the money on the reforge. We got another shock status. DPS goes way down. I need to change the position of these guns as well on this ingot. Probably wouldn't hurt to give it like its own section. Let's extract that lightning. We might as well put the lightning there and put the bullet split there. Ooh, sniper bubbles. Let's do sniper bubbles. Look at that gun. The sniper barrel with the crystal magazine. Nice. Okay. Oh, it's shooting crystals. Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of DPS. I'm just gonna create walls of fire with my dashes. Keep them away. Massacre. Wow. Do guns scale in damage as you get further? The guns that you actively have do not, but this is the whole point of the upgrade system, is that you're continually presented with new gun parts, and so you have to swap out your gun parts to keep the damage up. But as you're swapping out the gun parts, the fire rate that you have or the types of bullets that you're shooting change as well. So there's the whole point of that system is to keep the game fresh. Like, you shouldn't be able to necessarily get like a really good gun at the beginning and just never have to swap it out. So that is, so the enemies scale in terms of the health that they have, and they will start to outscale your damage So to the point that you need to like replace your gun parts with higher DPS parts. And also the amount of gold that you earn is directly related to how many enemies you can kill, because the way that this game works is that each wave is a certain amount of time, and it basically only spawns a certain number of enemies at once. So it might be only 5 enemies can exist in the level at a time, but as you kill them, they respawn, right? So the more enemies you can kill during the wave, the more gold you get as well, because gold is dropped from, or has a chance to drop from enemies. So you want to keep your DPS up so that you can kill as many enemies as quickly as possible, so you can have as much gold as possible so that you can keep your DPS up, right? So everything's kind of related. That makes sense. I like that design. Good. Yeah, I hope it feels decent to me. It feels good to me. So, ooh, loot goblin. Yes, this is one of my favorites. I don't know why, but I always love in video games when you get like little followers. It's just my favorite thing. I don't know why, but yeah. So I got a little loot goblin now. He's gonna go around and loot for me. Anyway, let's take that rune off of that. See, here's a DPS increase here, although I'm gonna lose rune slots. So I'll put that on the right gun. Shoot. Why is this DPS so low? I guess because the fire rate goes way down. Let me look at that. Bullets per second, ammo capacity multiplier. Yeah, so the problem is that the bullets per second and the damage are on the same item, which means that the DPS is basically entirely reliant on the receiver. So I should probably move... What I might do is I might move the bullets per second out of the receiver and move it into a magazine instead. So attach the fire rate to the magazine instead. So the barrel controls the speed of the bullet, controls how many bullets are created per shot, and what the spread is. So like, you know, what the recoil is, I guess you could say. The magazine currently only controls ammo capacity and range. So if I added the bullets per second here, the fire rate in here in the magazine, that would place one component of the DPS calculation outside of the receiver instead of both components being in the receiver. Maybe what I'll do is this. So I have in the lightning, or in the receiver, I have this ammo capacity multiplier. So the receiver can affect the total amount of bullets you have from your magazine. So maybe what I could do is the receiver could supply the base damage, but it can have an ammo capacity multiplier and it can have a fire rate multiplier. So like the receiver is responsible for supplying the base damage, but then also a bunch of multipliers for the other stats. And then the barrel and the magazine can just be like the raw other stats, like the capacity and the bullet speed and all that. Man, the biggest thing I want to learn is how to do status effects and the affixes and such that come with it. It's not super complicated. What you essentially need to do is you need to set up a pipeline where, well, maybe it is kind of complicated. Basically what you need to do is you just need to set up a pipeline where when the bullet is created, that event goes through your system, and the system then, or the pipeline, can look at all the affixes the player currently has and apply any transformations to that bullet's stats immediately before allowing the bullet to go and do its thing and collide. So you basically need to intercept bullet creation events, modify the bullet's stats or the stats that it's creating. I wrap everything up in like this gun stats object. This gun stats object is just a Godot object. And it contains all the stats that come from the player's guns. It contains a list of affixes. It does some damage calculations here. But then this is what everything operates off of, basically. So when I accept a hit from an enemy, or when an enemy gets hit by a bullet, that enemy can receive the gun stats that is attached to that bullet, and then the enemy knows from that hurt box component, okay, this gun stats of the bullet that I was hit with has all of these affixes here. And so now I need to add, or I need to handle those affixes in some way. Or if there's like status effects, which the statuses actually come from affixes. So part of handling the affixes is actually applying those status effects. So obviously that's not a super in-depth tutorial, but you got to think of it as like a pipeline. And, you know, how do you transform the data at each step of the pipeline in order so that when the enemy finally receives the hit, you have all the information you need to do everything. That's the way I'm approaching Gunforged anyway. And it's not super complicated in theory, but it can definitely get complicated in execution. I completed section 1. Awesome. What'd you think? Did you like it? I see. It's complicated. I don't know. Maybe I should do a video going over the architecture of Gunforged, but I have so much stuff that I need to do. Should I sacrifice 1 max HP? Let's see. Ooh, sacrifice 1 max HP for imaginary friend. Let's see how much DPS he's doing. Okay, that's respectable. Good, very good. I left a review. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate that. That definitely helps. I need more reviews so that strangers who have never heard of me, when they go to search Godot C# on Udemy, so that my course appears. That loot goblin is doing so much work. Can't really see him in the fog of war, but he's running around. Oh my gosh, he's so endearing. Loot goblin plushie when? Ooh, he's slacking though. He's so cute. He's got little overalls. All right, anyway. Do I have shock still? Yeah. Let's do, no, I'm gonna take Blazing Trails ×3 actually. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, do I have Blood Brothers? Yes, I do, okay. So I'm gonna take this rune out of there. This is a DPS upgrade, but it is a huge, well, it's a rune slot downgrade. That's probably fine, actually. Let's go ahead and equip that, and then let's put the bleed back on that. This is a huge DPS upgrade. Wow. Put that on. Yeah, the bubble receiver is just OP, I suppose. Oh, we can attach the worm magazine to this, no problem. So I could put poison back on, I suppose. I need more rune slots on that one, though. But it's a DPS downgrade, though. Okay, never mind. I should dynamically update this to show what the DPS actually is. Okay, anyway. I can do another heart sacrifice, but that's going to be dangerous. For real, though, that's the new one. Oh, no. When dashing, create a machine that reels in nearby enemies. This is the one that I was working on last night. All right, we're going to do it. I have 1 health now, but I just got a new passive, so. Do you see those chains grabbing that thing? Nice. Okay. Maybe when you get your next game, you'll cover it automatically if you stream it anyway. Maybe. I shouldn't have gambled away my last... I shouldn't have gambled away my last heart, I suppose. I was so excited to use that reel that I had just created. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, I'll call it there for the stream today. Gonna go grab some lunch. I may be streaming later tonight, but regardless, you should definitely hit that notification bell to be notified when I go live, because my stream schedule is a little bit varied. It's a little bit inconsistent, so I just kind of go stream whenever it feels good. But yeah, otherwise, please check out the links in the description below if you'd like to support me. The C# course, which is brand new for Godot, is still available at a steeply discounted price for the next couple days. It's the first link in the description, so check that out, please, if you're interested. Otherwise, liking, subscribing, and watching my videos is a great way to help. And, oh, you just finished the player camera part and it's shaky? Nice. Cool. But yeah, goodbye everyone, and I will see you hopefully in the next stream. So have a good rest of your day.